This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN. New year, new gear. Head to the SGPN merch store. They have a bunch of new items for the new year, and right now you can get 10% off, promo code 2026. Definitely check out some Golf Gambling Podcast merch. AVO. You can now make money with AVO Bet. It's the best sports betting tool that helps you make a profit every time you decide to place bets. They do this by spotting arbitrage opportunities in the market. And if you're not sure what that is, it's betting on both sides where you can lock in a profit. It's super, super easy to use. All you have to do is go on the site, pick the sports books that you use, and AVO will tell you how much to bet on each side. Could be different sports books, could be the same spot to guarantee a little bit of profit. If you're unsure, check out the free Discord at AVO Official. That's AVO Official. That's AVO.bet. Use promo code SGPN for $18 off. That's AVO.bet, promo code SGPN for $18 off. We're here. We're live. We're actually not live. This is recorded. We're going to be live to you, though, soon. American Express, Dom, thank you for joining me week 2.
Yeah, excited to get going. Sony was nice. I hate that it's during NFL playoffs. My attention, I think a lot of people's attention is elsewhere. I didn't really see the finish, but when I saw the lead Goddard had, and there's a player of his caliber with a 2-3 shot lead at somewhere like the Sony, it's usually more often than not over. So
yeah, it was a fun week. I definitely had a few sweats. I had Patrick Rogers and Jacob Bridgman 100-1. So they were both T2 with 9 holes to go, respectively. And I mean, you put guys in the chamber, get them in the mix. Anything can happen. But shout out Chris Goddard. I'm obviously a Chris Goddard fan. As you posted the clip earlier, we've been on Goddard for a long, long time. So always happy to see him get into the mix and ultimately win. And it was a guy that I kind of like going into the week too. Like I told you about that bomb and gouge strategy at Wiley, and it doesn't get more bomb and gouge than Chris Goddard up. So it was there for the taking, but we went with some other guys, and you're not gonna hit them all. I could promise you that in terms of the outright market, but you got Gerard top 20, a couple other positionals. Nonetheless, it was an okay start to the season. Nothing great, but nothing concerning.
Yeah, and back to the clip I posted earlier. Shout out to you. That was 2022. I remember, obviously I pay attention to sponsor invites and all these younger guys, but coming up, he had his very first PGA Tour event was T7 at the Puerto Rico Open. The next time out was when we kind of mentioned him and we kind of rode him for quite a while. Obviously got his card through Corn Ferry Tour, and fast forward 2.5, 3 years, and he's top 20 in the world. So pretty crazy.
I mean, yeah, what Goddard has done, I think he's 17th in the world now. It was just a really quick. Oh, sorry. Really, there we go. Really, I don't know why it's doing it like that. Whatever. I don't need to share a screen. I was trying to get cute with it. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten cute with it.
I like the attempt.
Stop sharing screen. Yeah, so got her up T17 in the world now, or 17 in the world now, and then it was just win. I think there's 3 players quicker than him to have 3 wins in a long time, and obviously massive names. So it's just, I'm happy to see another Jersey Shore guy. We're the same age, and it's cool. He's kind of living my dream. Why can't I be hitting 190 mile an hour ball speed, low cuts like he can? But I guess it is what it is.
You'll get there.
You'll get there one day. All right, American Express. What do you look for in terms of course, in terms of handicapping for this week?
Yeah, looking at guys who are able to make a lot of birdies. Since 2020, the 23 under's been the lowest score that's won, up to almost 30 under. Nick Dunlap got to 29. So we want guys who are able to make birdies. Looking at approach, looking at proximity, guys will be hitting a high clip of fairways, high clip of greens. You're going to want guys who, like I said, are making birdies, putting it close, and able to drop the putts. Me and you have always, when we have a birdie fest like this, we always look at, is a guy able to, or have they shown the ability to go extremely low? Because if they can't, usually it says that they probably can't get to 30 under and win an event. There's just certain guys who don't really have a history of doing that or play better in difficult conditions. And this is obviously not one of them, unless there's not a ton of research. Like if we're looking at a rookie from the Korn Ferry Tour who's playing in their second PGA Tour event, or a DP World Tour guy, obviously you'd have to dig a little bit further. But some of these guys who have been on tour for 5+ years, if they haven't gotten to the mid upper 20s at any event, I don't think it's gonna just happen out of nowhere.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this is definitely a week where I'm going to talk about that skill of being able to just simply get low. And I think this is a great week to go to some Korn Ferry Tour guys who had good seasons last year, because Korn Ferry Tour is pedal to the metal every week. You've got to get to 25 under like damn near all week. So look at the Korn Ferry Tour leaderboards from last year. If you see guys pop up often, they know they can play well here. So something to look at. Also, like, this is a week where you can simply sort by birdie or better percentage and find some realistic names, like one stat to look at. You don't have to go deep into it. One thing I will say, I posted a thread earlier of like scoring and stats. This isn't as much as a piece of shit putting contest as you might think. You can surely win this event by stuffing everything. Obviously, yeah, you have to make putts, but we don't really see guys just win gaining 8 strokes putting. Like, we see that more often in some other courses. It's just, you got to hit the ball more in terms of approach. You got to hit the ball well. You can kind of get away with driving it a little bit haywire. You don't have to hit every single fairway in the world, although those aren't the hardest fairways to hit. The Dormant Bermuda is not anything crazy to play out of. So really, approach is the key stat in terms of success for me this week.
Yep. No, I'm with you.
All right, let's bring up the odds board. We'll talk about the names at the top. Scotty Scheffler's making his first start, and I think he's making his first start because he wants to get that rust out quick. Like, he got off to the slower start, I guess, a slower start last year because of the hand injury, and he wasn't really in midseason form until like after the Masters, and he wants to be primal for Augusta, obviously, this year. So, I mean, he's still the rightful favorite, obviously. Am I going to bet him this week? No. Am I going to bet the without market? No. I do think he's going to hit that under 4.5 win prop that we talked about. But I think there's some opportunity down the board. Is it 5.5? Okay, yeah. 5.5.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on Scotty playing and being here?
I was pretty shocked when it came out that he was playing the American Express. But overall, this field's pretty strong compared to what we've seen in the past. I mean, not just Scotty, but you had Ludwig commit, which was also a pretty big shock. Robert McIntyre, pretty big shock, just because there's some DP World Tour events that are very high purses over there, and a lot of guys will usually play, especially like a Robert McIntyre. I don't know if Ludwig has historically played over there, but like even like Matt Fitzpatrick, who does some DP World Tour, there's a lot of guys coming over for the American Express. I don't know what they're doing different this year or how they recruited so many guys to come play this event, but really excited. I'm with you. I never bet though without Scotty market. Everyone knows I kind of just lean into the each way a little bit more. That way, if he does run away with this and get to like low 30s, at least maybe I have a couple guys to sweat to try and get into the top 5, top 6. But yeah, that's probably how I'm approaching Scotty as well. I think it'll probably be the case for us all year unless his number really drifts.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And this field is definitely the strongest Amex field we've seen in some time. Like, even seeing Siwoo at 35 to 1, former winner here, he's usually like that 20, 25 to 1 guy that's like top 5 in the odds board. Now he's still up there, but he's still 35, 40 in some spots. So, yeah, let's talk about the first names that you can officially bet. Ben Griffin, Ludwig Aubert, Sam Burns, Russell Henley. I thought that was a really interesting switch with Burns and Griffin, because Henley was the odds-on favorite at the Sony, and Griffin was the second. And now there's a sizable switch, and they finished, I think, the exact same number at the Sony. And we got Bob Mack, Patrick Cantlay, Siwoo to round out everyone below 40 to 1 in most spots. So, what's your thoughts on like card construction? Are you going to go up here, and who do you like if you had to go up here?
I have one up here. Uncharacteristic for me, but I caught a 25 on Ludwig this morning.
Where is that? Because that's my guy too.
No longer there.
Where was it?
Bet Rivers.
Okay.
So I did the each way as well. I don't usually hit each way when it's like 25, or like 30 to 1 or less, but that kind of stood out to me. That 25 was the best number. I think the next was 20 at the time. Now it looks like he's 22 across the board, which isn't horrible, but it's like I saw the 25, I clicked it just because you look at like his odds in majors, he's right around 25, 30, and you're going to give me a 25 at the Amex. His win at the RSM back in 2023, he was 29 under, so he has shown the ability to go low. He doesn't play a heavy schedule, so it's not like he's playing in a ton of birdie fests anyway. It's not like, oh, he's only went low 1 or 2 times, he can't get there. I'm not worried about a guy like Ludwig. I think both of us have very high expectations of him, not just this year, but moving forward. I think he's one of the few young stars who has a chance to get to this Scotty Scheffler level, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm totally with you. Like I was so high on him last year. He got the win early. Thankfully, I was on that. But I'm right with you. I'm starting my card with Ludwig at I was expecting like an 18 or 19 before the odds came out. And I see 20, 25. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely in on him. And historically, when I've done Amex cards, I've done like one guy and then mega bombs, like a 10-man card with like going starting at anywhere from 15 to 1 to 12 to 1 and then going like 100 to 1, 100 to 1, 100 to 1. So because that's how it usually is. Like a big dog wins or a mega bomb wins. So that's what I'm probably gonna do this year. So I assume we'll have probably like less names from the middle and more names from the top. But I'm with you. My name here is seeing 28 to 1 on Patrick Cantlay is kind of crazy though. Or
It is.
like I'm going with Ludwig at the top, and I mean it's just he's too good to be held winless for a full year. I'm riding the train, and I think he can do it in multiple ways this week. I'm worried about the putter a little bit, but if he just puts everything to 10 feet, he'll be in for a good week. After 40 to 1, there's some names here. I mean, I assume you're going to want to talk about Michael Thorbjornsen. Anyone else after 40 to 1 that you want to like touch on as maybe a second guy in?
Second guy in, Fitz caught my eye just because of where he's at, but he's a guy, like I kind of said at the beginning of the show, I'm worried how many birdies he can make. Like I prefer Fitz in harder conditions when the wind picks up or whatever the case may be. But historically, he's not a guy who's going to go out and go 30 under par. Harry Hall is interesting to me, but yeah, when it comes to 50 to 1 and lower, I think I'm pretty much stuck on Ludwig. I guess I don't mind Sam Burns at 28. That could be my second guy in realistically. But yeah, that's probably where it ends.
Yeah, I mean, I've had 2 straight sweats here. I had Sepp last year, then I had Sam Burns the year before that, who blew it to Nick Dunn. But touching on Fitz, like he is in some amazing form. I've been speaking so highly of him. He's coming off of a win in his last start of the DP World Tour Championship, where he did have to make some birdies there, but this is a different level of taking it low. So I'm probably out on Fitz. I think Michael Thorbjornsen is a really interesting candidate. Played his college golf in California, should be comfortable around here, and we know he can take it low when he gets hot. He looks confident right now, so I think Thorb is a good look around this number, for sure. And then I went to Kurt Kitayama last week. He didn't pan out. He didn't have a good week, he had a good start, but then he kind of fizzled out. I don't mind him again here. I think I love him in a little birdie fest, like TPC style conditions, although this is not like a TPC course. And then finally, I'll let you go. Davis Thompson he's played great here in his career. 3 starts, 3 made cuts, and he almost beat Jon Rahm in his debut here a few years back. So you can get like a 70, I think, on him. I think he is the play over like the Gerard, the Bridgman, the guys who just had good weeks last week after one good round. I think you go with Thompson for sure.
Thompson is my second guy in. He's the next guy I bet. I got him at 66 with the top 6 each way. That's our guy. I think if people think he's out of place when you're looking at names around him, like a Gerard who just finished second, there's a lot of appeal around guys like even Thorbjornsen. Alex Noren's been really hot around the world. Justin Rose, yada, yada, yada. But Davis Thompson, I bet some people are looking like he doesn't really deserve to be up here, and maybe that's your sign to go ahead and bet him. He was on my card last year here at 40 to 1. Didn't do great, But yeah, like you said, just lost to John Rahm when he was a rookie back in 2023, followed it up with a T21 in 2024, a guy who we know can go low. We know he can put it close, get the irons hot, and a guy who, if there has to be a spike putter week, I'd like to see him rolling the rock just like he did that week when he was second to Rahm. So Davis Thompson.
I love it. Also, I want to touch on Akshay Bhatia. He's 80 in some spots, and he's never made a cut here, but this seems to be a perfect course for him, in my opinion. Like I like Davis. I like Akshay Bhatia when you have to hit fairways and mint wedges. You kind of do need to do that here, but you can get away with that mega slice, which he has in his bag. You don't necessarily have to hit every fairway. And the putter is a question mark, but he's shown some signs of life with the putter. And 80-1 with Joe Griner on the bag, like I think a massive season's incoming from Akshay. And he's only 23 years old and he's already won. I feel like he's been out here. He's a veteran at this point. I'm going with Akshay heavy this year. These young studs who have the potential. I'm going to buy him a lot this year, and he's one of them.
We got to quit doing shows together. I didn't even text you today when
You're on Akshay.
Bet all these guys. Akshay is my third guy in.
Yeah, I
got him at 80-1 with the top 6 each way. Like you said, Griner's on the bag. I think I have him ranked extremely high this year. Anyone who watched my Underdog Best Ball show knows that I'm all over Akshay. I didn't look at my full percentage ownership on him, but I was on him very heavily. He wasn't getting drafted appropriately, like you said. Still extremely young. He matured at a very young age on the PGA Tour. You would think he's been around for 10 years just watching him kind of walk around. And it feels like, I mean, we got introduced to him when he was, 18 years old. So he's been around. I think he wins this year. I think he could win twice this year. I think he has a huge 2025. Love this price. Take advantage of the 80-1 if you can still find it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like everything you just said is what I said before. So Akshay is a great selection. Anyone else before we get to the triple digits?
Will Zalatoris. I had to click him at 80 as well.
Wow.
So my big question heading into the year, and I think everyone's big question is where is he at when it comes to his health? Had a solo 15th at the Ned Bank early on in December, so a little over a month ago. So it's not like we're going in blind. It's not like we haven't seen Zalatoris play any golf. Last year he was T12. He got to 17 under before he kind of started withdrawing from events and pulling himself out. But Zal, can he win a birdie fest? He's another guy who plays well at difficult courses. I don't know. I guess that's something that we'll have to find out. But seeing that he finished T12 here last year gives me a little hope. And like I said, seeing that he was out playing a competitive round of golf on the DP World Tour about a month and a half ago, I think that goes a long way. It just shows that he's not just using these. I think he has 16 starts on a major medical this year. Has to earn X amount of points. So using one of his starts here, they announced it a few weeks back that he was playing here. So 80-1, if he stays healthy, this might be the longest number we get all year.
Yeah, I mean, you never have to sell me on Zalatoris, one of my favorite golfers of all time, right there, as you know. And I mean, Birdie Fest, Willie Z, for some reason he's played this event really well. Never missed the cut here. T6 back in 22, T12 last year. Gained strokes on approach and has flashed with the putter here before too. I don't hate it. I probably won't get there, but I'll get to the triple digits. One guy that I like in the triple digits I'm starting my card with here probably is Max Homa. Max Homa is finding the approach game, and the driver is also coming back. He's got back with his old coach, which is what he needed to do. And someone who has dog, if they do happen to get into the mix, I don't worry about them getting across the line. So Max Homa at triple digits, I think, is a absolutely great play. Had a decent fall, flashed a little bit, decent end of the summer. So I'm down for him, Max Homa. Also some strokes gain Griner love too. I think he's my first pick here.
Yeah, you can get a pretty good number on Homa, triple digits. Played pretty consistently through the fall, had to play through the fall, gain on approach, pretty much every stop that he made. So I think Homa's a great look. My first one in the triple digits, there's two guys I'll mention, but I did not bet. That would be Johnny Kiefer's 150. You kind of mentioned hey, take a look at what guys did on Corn Ferry Tour. We don't have to really sell anybody on that, but Kiefer was third in total or birdie or better, or birdie average, last year. Everyone knows what he did on the Corn Ferry Tour. So Johnny Kiefer's 150. I also like going back to Thigala at 150. He showed a lot over the weekend. I mean, he was dead last on Thursday, grinded to make the cut. Actually pushed his way inside the top 40 and finished T31. I believe he was top 5 or 6 in birdie or better last week. He was just pouring them in on the weekend. Obviously, you have to if you go from almost dead last to a top 30 finish. So I don't mind Thigala at 150. One of the bets that I have made, a guy who I think is a little bit underpriced. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but Matty Schmid. 250 to 1 with the top 6 each way. Had a pretty decent fall. I think he was top 10 or top 12 at the RSM. Made a lot of birdies in the fall, so that's a guy who I did bet at 250.
I like the Kiefer nod. I think he's in for a good week this week. He had a obviously great Corn Ferry career, knows how to get low. He gained over 5 strokes ball striking last week at the Sony, just putt poorly. I think Kiefer is a great bounce back candidate in all markets this year. Sahith, I was on last week, didn't really go well. I kind of worry about he didn't really hit it well last week. I'm on Jonathan Vegas. Jonathan Vegas has won this event before, and he's putts well here, to be honest. And then, dude, Andrew Novak and Aldrich Potgieter, close to 200 to 1. Doesn't make sense. Both know how to get into the mix. Like, just blindly betting those guys. Like, Potgieter can get it done with the sending it out there and just getting hot with the wedges. And Novak, like, we know what he can do. So I'm down for those guys. It doesn't really make sense to me, the numbers.
I didn't see the Novak number. I'm going to have to go click on that because that seems a little bit too far. Another guy pretty far down. Let me see where he actually is at. 200 to 1, Seamus Power.
Played great last week.
Yeah. He was 8th in approach at the Sony, T14 the last time that he was here at the Amex back in 2022. And then he really had a sneaky fall. T12 or T11 at Bermuda, T7 at the RSM, a guy who doesn't have full status. I think he's playing out of 101 through 110, if I'm correct. But yeah, Seamus Power, 200 to 1, and then Nico Echeverria, 250. I just saw that number before we came on this show. Probably going to go click on that. I just think that's too far for a guy that seems like this is an event he can actually win.
Great bounce back candidate. He didn't hit it well, but he didn't hit enough fairways last week. I think this is a much more forgiving course off the tee for him to get into position to make birdies. Let's bring it back around. We'll do 3 outrights each and then some positionals, including our top 40 market. 1-0 for me. Jacob Bridgman defeats who'd you take last week?
Davis Chatfield. I wasn't prepared, and I'm not even that prepared this week, but
I'm not prepared either. We figured it out as we go. So I'll start. I mean, this might be for you too, but I'm starting the card with Ludwig at anywhere from 22 to 25. Is that you as well?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So give your second
team ride Ludwig.
You want to give your second guy?
Yeah, I'll do the second. I am gonna go with Davis Thompson at 66 with the top 6 each way. I mean, I think it's a pretty good number. It'll probably stick there just because we didn't see him play last week. It's not like he was lights out in the fall. Didn't really need to be. He was pretty safely inside the top 100 to get his tour card back. Shocked he didn't play a little better to try and sneak into the Aon top 10, but either way, I expect a big 2026 for Davis Thompson. If we don't see it in 2026, I think me and you will both be back to ride him in 2027. So Davis Thompson, 66 to 1.
All right, I'll give my final 2. They're going to be Bud Cauley and Ricky Castillo. Bud Cauley finished, I think, T20 something last week. Just couldn't really get anything going. He's generally a really solid approach player, and that's a key stat in terms of success this week. And Castillo, he was 8 under on Sunday through like 5 holes. Not 8 under in the tournament, which was like 3 back of the lead. And then he drove one out of bounds. So one bad swing kind of ruined that Sunday run, what could have been. So I'm going back to Castillo. He's shown to get in the mix, and I think he's a high-level young guy.
My last one, I'm going to go with Akshay Bhatia at 80-1. I think he has a big 2025. Me and you are both on him. It's a good price. Take advantage of it, and we'll see what he can do with Griner.
Are you seeing top 40 numbers yet?
I am not anywhere.
Okay. All right, we'll just do educated guesses then. So let's go to like the outright markets, and like I think we can find a guy who top. So last week, for perspective, Jacob Bridgman was top 40 plus 130 at 100-1. So let's cut it off at like 90-1.
Okay.
90-1. We'll go 90-1. All right. So I'll lead it off since I won last week. My top 40 guy of the week is going to be another guy who I mentioned before. I don't think he's going to be in this market too often. And what we're looking for is plus money top 40. That's going to be Max Homa. Talked about him before. He's triple digits on the odds board. You could probably get a plus 100, plus 105, plus 130, top 40 on him. So maybe even higher because it's a bigger field. So I'm going with Max Homa.
I like that. I will go with Matt McCarty. He should be right around there. Didn't play great at Sony last week, but overall rates out pretty well for me. I think he's a guy who can make quite a few birdies. So we'll go with Matt McCarty as my top 4.
I mean, these are real stakes. Dom and I are going Bedman request each week if one of us wins or loses. So Homa versus McCarty in the top 40. 1-0 for me. I'm trying to pay my rent money with Dom's losses this year. So that'll wrap up the Amex betting show. You know where to find us with any questions, and we'll be back next week for the Farmers. Peace out.
See ya.